Hello everybody, my name is Bubblezest and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. In today's video, we're once again playing as Bulgaria, attempting to solve the Balkan problem. Let's begin, shall we? Funnily enough, this achievement doesn't technically fully need us to have an army, so today it's going to be on the back foot, but we will make sure our army is up to scratch. It's always important. Of course, create an intelligence agency if you're in La Resistance. Do the standard electronics and industry to begin. For the civs that we have, we are going to build more civs. We're going to get a lot of civs and mills from integrating the rest of the Balkans anyway, so having a better civilian economy than a military one is more useful. But for the military facility we have, obviously drop the motorized, put all future for now into support equipment. Once you have 250 support equipment, switch over to guns and buy the relevant materials. Now it's time for us to oppose the royal dictatorship, go up to speed 5, and begin. And exercise your air force if you're really feeling adventurous. You have the fuel for it. May as well grab suicide pills as an only upgrade to the intelligence agency for now. Hey, in best case scenario you can get the achievement, You'll Never Kill Me Alive. Now our opposition to the royal dictatorship has begun. We're going to do, contrary to what you expect, democratic principles. Now you might think you have to go communist to the achievement, and yes you do. But ultimately there's nothing stopping us from communist later. As you can see here, we still have the communist revolutionary. We haven't done power to the Tsar. It's easier to get down to form a popular bloc than abolishing a constitution, and I find getting the faction management sooner better. And there's more easy benefits as well. The AI tends to flip democratic quicker than it does communist. In fact, I think the AI resists flipping communist if it can. Otherwise, while communist does have some benefits, it's not too important, although I do very much like the People's Militia Directive. But I mean, I'm not going to be too upset about losing 2 civs, 2% recruitable profit minus 5% goods. I mean, they're good, and I mean, if you were going to do this like communist, you would have some benefits, but with democratic principles beginning, we will wait to just get a little bit more political power and hire ourselves a democratic reformer. There you go. Now it's time for us to support the Agrarian Union. In most circumstances, I'd say Petrocrator is better, but Petrocrator gives us 0.05 democracy support a day, and since we need to flip communist, it's not the best. So we're going to form a popular front bloc. I mean, you could do Petrocrator. It wouldn't necessarily inhibit you getting the achievement, it would just slow you down in flipping communist, which is not the best. You should probably build a network in Turkey if you're going to build a network to boost ideology. Turkey is usually the most resistant flip. It can definitely affect as well who they choose as Ataturk's successor. If you get the junta leader, that's fine, but if you get the historical leader, it can slow them down. For any broad socialist event, I'd recommend going for the crushing them at any cost. You lose a bit of stability, but honestly, 120 days of strikes is not a good idea. And now with the Agrarian Union supported, we'll form a popular bloc. And now we'll begin to work on integrating the Agrarian Union. Yeah, it's a bit more political power before the front is formed, but to be completely honest, it's not as dire as it sounds. So we'll do joint act, fund, but grab superior firepower, always good. Now that we've also formed our popular front bloc, we're going to make a very slight detour to condemning the IMRO. We're going to have to do it anyway. The main reason we're doing this is mostly for the faction integration. As you can see here, we're at 75 for the Agrarian Union, and after this it will be at 85. But doing joint act will not give us enough support, but luckily condemning the IMRO will give us enough support, which will save us some political power on decisions. Additionally, you should condemn the IMRO if your stability is too low before doing abolish the monarchy, because as it says, you'll get a civil war. And you, my new friend, get logistics with an aggressive assault and offensive doctrine. Start working on the broad socialists though before you hit integrate. Yeah, allowing them to do a speech won't hurt. Integrating the broad socialists is useful, they give us support for communism eventually. And with the Macedonian organisation condemned, it's time to integrate the Agrarian Union and do some anti-IMRO propaganda, and finally, abolish the monarchy. This will be Boris's last acts to Stem the inroad completely and integrate the Agrarian Union, and then they're going to defenestrate him. They're going to defenestrate him out of the country. There's the end of the Agrarian Union. Now let's start working on the Broad Socialists. Right, now the monarchy has been abolished, it's time for us to have some legislative elections, which, completely contradictory, does not actually unlock elections for us. That really should be changed. It makes no sense. Like, why? It literally says it should give us elections. It would totally be possible for us to flip democratic and get elections ourselves, but no, there's no bypass to this focus anyway. And it gets PP. So, what can you do? With 20 days until legislative elections are held, it's time for us to improve relations with Greece, so that the Salonika agreement can go through. Make sure, of course, it's high enough so when they fall down, they don't into minus 25, because you'll lose a lot of days' work. Once you have something like Disperse 2 done, you should probably make a detour to grab transport ships. Whether or not you'll do a naval invasion is questionable, but of course it's always used. And once I've grabbed improved machine tools, I'm going to start getting Fighter 1. Once we've got Mushanov in power, don't worry, we won't be recurring him Emperor today. We're actually going to fire the other Mushanov in our government. We have enough democratic support that we need. Now it's time for us, like I said, to do the Salonika agreement. Now relations go down at -3 a month, so you need at least a few months worth in reserve. Right, we have enough support equipment now. Now let's just switch around slightly, mostly for guns. You should probably eventually grab also artillery, as Bulgaria does not have artillery unlocked for some reason. Now time for us to integrate the Broad Socialists. In fact, I'm going to grab artillery now. There we go. Oh, and the Hindenburg didn't burn down. Does that mean Hesse is going to kill himself over Scotland with it this time? I'd say it's likely. Now that we have the Just Monaco agreement that Greece has signed, we will now create a Balkan Confederation. Now that's a nice event. This will finally bring some stability to the Balkans until the Federation blows up over ethnic tensions. With the Broad Socialists integrated into the government, we are going to spend some of our newly gained political power on an elusive gentleman. There we go, a Balkan Confederation. Now for us it's time to dissolve the Zeno. We need more political power personally, but integrate the Zeno if you want. I don't think it's that dire. There you go, Greece has joined the League of Balkan Confederacies, and now we have unlocked the decisions related to it. Use the army restrictions if you want, it doesn't matter yet. But first we're going to organise a Balkan summit. Now we're going to, in a moment, start working on decisions. We're going to wait to see what Romania's doing. Romania's doing Malaxa, which I think means that either one or two focuses away from their ideology. Keep an eye on them. But otherwise we're going to only do the decisions for now with Yugoslavia and Turkey. Now Greece has already enough action, so Greece is guaranteed. So for now, industrial investments in Yugoslavia and Turkey, and we'll give the capital injection to them both. And there we go. Keep an eye on Romania. Once they begin their flip to non-aligned, we'll start boosting them too. I just can't remember if it's this soon or not. The AI needs around 60% to flip their support, because at 60%, you tend to get an event that forces you to flip or civil war. Once your next spy appears, hire them and use the best one that you have to boost ideology. In this case, this spy here is a natural orator, so we'll be using him. Turkey is usually quite hard to flip. I guess it makes sense. I guess Ataturk wouldn't want his republic destroyed with another republic. There you go, we're beginning to dissolve this event though, get rid of them without delay so you don't have a civil war. For focus, we are going to consolidate the third Bulgarian state. It is an unbelievably powerful bonus, 70% political power, 5% war support, 0.2% weekly stability, but most importantly 5% extra research speed. It's basically like women's suffrage in Mexico, but just as good. And without the additional democracy flip. No bother with things like improved relations, military access, nags. It won't matter. It won't matter. Additionally, Albania is not worth it. It is possible to get Albania, it really is, but by the time Albania flips, it'll pretty much be time for this guy to annex them, so what can you do? Right, Romania is institutional royal dictatorship, so I was wrong. Malaxa is the last focus before they do it, so you should have been doing those ones from the start. Oh well, Romania still is very good for flipping anyway, so let's do the capital injection in them too. There you go. Turkey has the legacy of Ataturk while Ataturk is still in office. I mean, I guess that's somewhat realistic. I'm going to start building artillery now that I have it unlocked. Similarly, actually, we're going to start building fighters when we get another factory. Many of these things will come in handy later because we can influence Italy in the decision of recovering Italian territories. It's very random, but you can influence it. It's based around your relative power in you and they. Additionally, start improving relations with China and send them an attaché once you have 20 relations. Right now, the consolidation of the Bulgarian state here. We are going to ban far-right organisations. Usually I'd actually say restrain paramilitary organisations is better, but considering most other things, we don't really need the manpower, so we're going to get rid of the power. And we're going to hire ourselves a Marxist philosopher to begin our transition towards a Marxist state. Not necessarily also because it gives another 5% research boost, which means already we have plus 22%. That's very strong, especially this early in the game. Oh, look what's happened. We got ourselves the ideology drift defense guy from Turkey, Ismet. Oh well, it's completely random. I don't know why Turkey would ever choose the unity leader anyway, but it means Turkey will be a little slower into democratic, annoyingly. Oh well, we still got plenty of time. And speaking of time and things running out, let's get rid of the Zen though. Keep doing the capital injections and such whenever they reappear. Right, there's the ban of far-right organisations, and now we don't really have any good focus to do, so let's acquire ourselves some more tools. And with the end of the Zen though, time to get rid of the National Social Movement. Somehow that makes the National Social Movement loyal too, which makes sense. And there's Karol II of Romania. Already he's fit going back to democracy. Eventually they would do point per allied government, but I wouldn't rely on it. It was later than I should have been and sent an attaché to China, but oh well. It'll even itself out in the end. Now in the hands of some modern tools, it is probably time for us to refuse army restrictions. I see no real reason to have it. It won't cause problems usually. Now we're going to work down to getting limited conscription for free via rebuild the army. But also I suggested grabbing Tier 5 power then so you could use the boosts for delay and mobile defense. Time to destroy the National Social Movement, the final faction. I love how it says crush here but destroy here. So who's our new spy? Fatherland Front sympathizer? Sure. I don't expect to be going to war with the Soviet Union today. Oh, for goodness sake, man, you're rubbish. You're literally the worst spy. Right, now Turkey and Yugoslavia are 2 decisions away. Now, either the event comes up or the AI spends 100 political power or so to do it, so it is still a bit random whether or not we'll flip. Right, there's the return of our spies. Now get back to work and don't get yourselves captured this time. Romania looks like it's pretty much 1 decision away too. That's good. We're a bit ahead of where I intended to be. But keep in mind that getting down to unification of Balkan still takes 200. Actually, it takes 360 days. What am I saying? But anyway, let's get these 3 military factories, I think. Still got time. Of course, whenever things like a Balkan Summit comes up, do it again. Right, I'm gonna grab partial mob. Normally I'd wait down for Balkan Trade Secretariat, but I feel like it'd be useful now. A few more civs never hurt. Right, Yugoslavia is pretty much at 60%, so I think I'm going to try and get away with not doing another decision with them. I'm going to keep with Turkey though, because I don't trust them. Our chassis will be sent where we please make good quo. In what position is this guy? This bloody guy in any position to say what we're doing is a problem. And let's organise another Balkan Summit. We're going to grab Fight Tyranny at this point because it is a very powerful bonus. I don't think it will affect too much against us. You can still get things like nags and military access from other countries. Mostly Italy. And it's all Italy. You're so useless, Simeon! You should just leave there. Right, Turkey and Yugo are both at the requisite to flip. Now, oh, I am very surprised. Turkey flips first. That's very rare. Very good, actually. Right, now we wait on these two. Yugoslavia and Romania. I think Yugoslavia should be imminent. Speak of the devil. I think Romania should be any time soon. Once Fight Tyranny is done, since we don't have a choice about it at this point, we'll start off way down. I got very lucky with getting Turkey to flip, but I can't complain. Yes, peace in the world, peace at home. Balkan Federation is key to peace. Right, Romania's got another boost, over 63% now. Any time now, I'd say. The main thing I like is the plus 5% org. It's very powerful. And now we're going to also hire ourselves the Communist Revolutionary. We need to be democratic at least until we have done United We Will Prevail, but that's fine. And Romania is back to being democratic. Nice to see you again. Surprised the Iron Guard hasn't cooked you. Now it's time for us to bury grudges of the past. Luckily we have the war goals, don't have to use them. But they might come in handy later, if we ever want to do any shenanigans. It's a shame we couldn't get Albania in the end, but oh well. Albania got pretty high up, things considered. 32% on just Balkan summits. Sorry Zog, we couldn't get you in. If you could somehow get Albania in, be my guest. You might have more luck on non-historical, but obviously that's too inconsistent for me. Fun fact, I actually did this achievement originally on non-historical AI. Wouldn't recommend it though. When I did it, the achievement would fire just by completing the focus unification of the Balkans. It doesn't do that anymore though. There we go, we've buried our grudges of the past, and now it's time for the Balkan Trade Union Secretariat. And welcome to the club, everyone. Basically, we form the EU. I kid, it's not really the EU. This union is 50 times more corrupt. Prosecute the Immo when you can, though. Always useful for the more people gain. By the way, our spies are now free. We're going to start building a network in Italy and start upgrading your spies, your intel network, so you get another spy. And now that Italy's influencing your politics, I'd recommend you grab military access and a non-aggression pact. It can affect how the recovery Italian territories work. And funnily enough, this is plus 10, this is minus 15, meaning fascism goes nowhere. So luckily we don't have to waste political power on banning fascism. And I would recommend you do Fight Tyranny before this, because you can only do it as democratic or non-aligned, I believe. Now that we've formed the Eurozone, it's time to declare that united we will prevail. I do not believe we gained the Balkans United boost, which, to be fair, combined with the other bonus that we have fight against tyranny, would be quite overpowered, so it's not so sad. Oh, we're getting people going to communist partisans. As long as you obviously don't get 45% communist support, you'll be fine. In fact, we're pretty much at the last focus we need anyway. Now I'm going to start working on Italy's cipher. Not very often we see portraits like Milan Groll and Fire, is it? But it's nice. Ooh, we're now over 50%. That's running dangerously close. Anyway, united we shall prevail, and now it's time for the unification of the Balkans. Keep in mind that the AI can refuse this. Shut up, Menguquo. Right, unification of the Balkans. And there you go, there's everyone. We have gotten our Balkan fed. Perfect. Now let's open up political discourse. hold an referendum and defeat the purpose of a democratic federation, justify on Hungary. There we go. 205 days. Grab a non-aggression pact by the next day with the Soviet Union, so that means they leave you alone. Right, it's too soon to do recover Italian territory, so let's work down to Prussia of the Balkans. Oh, and look at this brand new army of ours. We're not going to keep it like this. We're going to go into our screen and make a we'll have the industry to make such a large template, so we'll make it right now. There we go. We're going to need a lot of equipment, and we'll get a lot of equipment. So for now, we're going to put 20 guns, actually 25 guns, and the rest into artillery for now. Once those civs are done, we'll start building some civ. What am I saying? Once those civs are done, we'll start building extra mills. Make sure you buy the extra materials that you now need, though. The Soviet Union, I'd say. Since France, you know, is not long for this world. And start organising your now much bigger army. There you go. And of course, for the extra bonus, you get all the generals. Would recommend still using Gregory though, as he does give 6 more units due to him being skilled. You have all the generals, including a few extra logistics wizards, so it's very good. But use whoever you like. Field marshals might be useful later. Oh yes, you have a lot of materials, but do you know how much materials a 44 takes? In just this one army, we'll probably use everything. There you go. The artillery is not good. But we'll slowly but surely change them over. And you know what, give them a special icon so we know they're 14 points. Luckily this now allows us to do collaboration governments, and I'd say you should do them on Italy. Get all 3 that you can. And yes, I'm building more guns than perhaps I technically need. Of course, we're going to be changing units around and the like. We're going to need a lot of guns. Also, now we have a lot of ability to build ships, and we even have the entire fleet of our former constituent friends. It's not the best navy, but you know, it has a few. So put them all together and put them in something like a Pyrrhus. And if you really wanted to, you could always buy a ship designed for the Soviets. What's in the bank of Stalin today? They'd give us an early ship hull, a Marat class. If I was going to buy anything, I'd buy subs, but they're not allowing us a 36 hull anyway. Of course, we don't have cores in any of Anatolia, Kurdistan. If you wanted to release the Kurds as a puppet, I wouldn't say it's the worst idea you could have. Keep in mind, obviously, Prussia of the Balkans gives you non-core manpower as well, so there is some bonus to keeping them under your feet. Keep an eye on your Air Force too. That does count for the focus of recover Italian territories. The bigger your army is, the bigger your Air Force is, the better. So speaking of which, let's deploy all these rubbish planes that we have, so that we look bigger than we are. There, that's a bit more distributed, and give them all to one general, because that's sensible. Bombers, all the CAS. Right, I'm feeling particularly cheeky. Let's see if we can't recover Italian territories. Doesn't matter necessarily either way. How the hell has France managed to push along the Swiss border? How has Germany lost Saarbrücken? Please don't tell me this is a game where Germany gets stuck. That doesn't happen all the time, but it does sometimes happen. I mean, they've taken out Netherlands at least. Can't hurt to improve relations. Oh, Italy's also joined the war against these allies, so what you're going to do is send some 14-4s to help them. The only reason you do this is to make sure they control Zara, Albania, and Rhodes, because there is a chance they can lose them. The achievement can fire, I believe, at war, so if we control them at least for a while, it should be fine. Of course, the reason why we're defending is the UK is because he has a lovely tendency to invade. Right, there's our divisions. I gave Antonescu the job, so we're going to send one to Zara, one to the Dodecanese because it's so stacked, and the other one we're going to send to this port in Albania. For some reason Italy doesn't garrison it very often. Right, justification is ready on Hungary. Let's just wait those extra few days to see Italy's response. Obviously hoping for yes, but... Right, wow! I have never seen that before. But Italy gave in. Italy gave in. There you go. That is the achievement. We own all Balkan states as cores. Zara. Istria. I said them backwards. Albania. North Epirus. And finally, most importantly, for some reason, Dodecanese. That was unexpected. You know what? For one more cursed thing, let's get the little friend of the Balkans, the Hungarians. Oh, this is going to be fun. No, let's grab Prussia of the Balkans, just because. Right, that's the peace deal, and why not? Let's annex Hungary. There we go. There we go. And even Antonescu made it home. There you go, let's make our army a bit more organised. Well, this isn't how I expected this guide to go. I fully expected Italy to say no, but once they actually gave in and gave us Istria, so maybe the right time to go is when Italy's losing to France. Oh, I was fully ready to just go back and do War of the Axis. The plan would have been to Order 66 Italy and then go against the Axis. I still believe the achievement can fire at war, but obviously this is a lot easier. If you want me to go back and do that, so I'll be happy to do so. Do say so in the comments below. Obviously, this saves time. No wars, no nothing. A very big United Balkan Federation that's communist, with us as faction leader of a democratic faction. Oh, this is perfect. This has gone perfectly, I'd say. So, I thank you for watching this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Leave any suggestions for future ones in the comments below. Always looking for new video ideas. Like I said, if you want me to go back and do War of the Axis, I might do that as a special video or something. Could be fun. I just don't like fighting the Axis, and I will avoid it whenever I can. But until next time, everybody, this has been me, Bubble Zest, and goodbye.